Welcome to a pivotal moment in the world of broadcast as we proudly present the Men's Mental Health Show featuring the renowned Larry Mabry in collaboration with the Maassen Group. This essential exploration of men's mental health wouldn't be possible without the invaluable support of RainerAvenueRadio.world. Now, let's dive into this crucial conversation with Larry Mabry and the Maassen Group. Your mental well-being matters. Here's Larry Mabry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you guys on this January 12th. You can see I have my guest here, Dr. Tracy Harrell. So we're getting ready for 2026, and we wanted to kind of talk about a couple things today. So first of all, I want to say welcome, Dr. Tracy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm awesome.
Cool.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live today. So, I thought I'd have a just different spin on things today. So today I wanted to kind of talk about men's mental health, but just talk about it from a female's perspective. So real quick, first of all, what does men's mental health mean to you from your point of view?
I love that question. First of all, I am Dr. Tracy Harrell. I do not have an academic doctorate. It's a professional doctorate, right? So, and I also won this Lifetime Achievement Award for my contribution to community. So I just want to clarify, this is not, you consult your own doctor. Just to say, this is my personal opinion. For me, when I think about men's mental health, I think about this. First of all, I love that you do your show. Let me start there. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
I love it. Every week you show up in community and you make this conversation one that is not only acceptable, but people actually want to have the conversations now. And I think that in itself is such a beautiful thing, because mental health for men and women, right, is so important.
It's true.
It's everything.
It's true.
Right. It's like, I talk about living powerfully. It's like, are you living joyfully? Are you living in peace? Right. Is there calm? It's like all the things. Like, what were you put on this earth to do? Right. And are you doing it? Are you able to do it? Right. And so I think it's all those pieces.
Yeah. So from your point of view, what does men's mental health mean to you?
Again, I think what it means is men invest in themselves. Okay. They show up in a way that allows them to walk through this earth with joy.
Okay. Joy is important.
Peace.
Okay.
And not only doing what they were meant to do, but also contributing to others. I think if you got your mental health locked, those are the four things that you're doing. There's joy, there's peace. There's that self-fulfillment, right? Self-determination. I'm doing the work, and you're contributing to community.
I like that. Okay, cool. And then do you have certain men in your life that you noticed that have inspired you due to their mental health or strong mental health?
That is such a good question. You know who I connected with just yesterday? One of my favorite restaurants is right across the street. We actually had dinner there. We actually had dinner there last year.
Yeah, we did.
Around the holidays.
Yeah, I already know what you're saying.
Island Soul.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice spot.
Island Soul is literally my favorite restaurant in Seattle. Mm-hmm. When I first moved here and I discovered this Caribbean and the soul food, I'm like, I'm home. I'm home.
Good vibe.
So you mentioned the person. I met Theo way back then, like years ago. I moved here the weekend before the Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So
what was that,
2014.
Okay, 14. Okay.
2014. Okay. And people talked about the Seattle freeze.
Yeah, I remember.
There was no freeze. There was
during
no
that
freeze.
time.
Not at that time, because everyone was like
excited.
If you had your blue and green, you was like, let's go. But I met Theo way back then, and I just remember thinking he was talking about himself. Same story. Like, he has a very consistent message. Mm-hmm. He talks about his, he was a foster child.
Okay.
He talks about, the work. He has his children working in his business. He got the business from his father as well. So there's that legacy.
Lineage, legacy.
Yeah. So I love that. I love the fact that he's a man who contributes to others in community.
Okay.
But he also is a man of integrity.
Nice. Okay.
So, he's just someone that I know, and I do this AI work. I'm doing Living Powerfully with AI, and I reached out to him. I was like, there's so many things that you could be doing with AI. And I was like, tell me about your current AI journey. Mm-hmm. He's in it to win it. Okay. He's in it to win it. I was like, see, I love that. And he's using it for all kind of things. Yeah. And I'm like, I love it.
That's
and
good.
So he's one of the individuals. I don't know him that well, but I met him back then, and then we've had a few intermittent conversations. Okay. And the other thing I love about him,
what's that?
He actually, and he said this is one of the things he was working on, because he doesn't do it much. He asked for help. He asked for help. He did remember he had that other restaurant in Kirkland. He
Okay.
opened another restaurant in Kirkland. And long story short, there was, I don't know, maybe it was a year ago, 6 months ago, not that long ago, he put on Facebook a GoFundMe.
Oh, for that particular restaurant?
For this restaurant now because of the debt from the other one.
Oh, to kind of help support him.
He was like,
I need help with this.
Community.
I need your support. That takes a lot to say, hey, I need help.
How beautiful was that?
Yeah.
And I thought,
very humbling experience. Okay.
Humbling, but he was also, he did it with pride. Like, hey, I
showed up. I need you guys to support me in a situation.
If you're able.
Yeah. And then how did that fare for him, you know?
Well, it fared well. We literally just had this conversation because what I said to him is, I was like, look, right now, my dollars are limited. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, there's, these times of these peaks and these valleys.
Definitely understand that.
I'm waiting for a check right now to be paid.
Definitely
it's someone,
understand that. For sure.
From July.
Okay. Understand
Work. I gave late, so let me take full responsibility.
Okay.
They didn't get the invoice until November on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
But I say that to say he asked for help. So that's number one.
Okay.
A strong man, a legacy builder.
Mm-hmm.
He has multiple businesses.
Yeah.
That's just one of them.
But say, hey, I need
asked
help.
for help in community.
Okay, I like that.
And he also was working multiple angles.
Okay.
Which was powerful. Just like we should ask for help when there's a need.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
He's like, I should do more of that. So when I asked him, I was like, what, tell me about 2026 for you. And he said, I want to do more of that. Like I want to ask more, not necessarily ask for dollars, but just being
vulnerable. Yeah, expressing vulnerability.
How exciting is that? Like,
no, I think that's good.
I've watched your show and I've seen you do it.
Oh yeah,
regularly, and I'm like,
it's everyday situation. But I appreciate the fact that you shared that. You grew or allowed or understood his vulnerability.
Yeah,
and I think that's important. We talk about that here on the show as far as being vulnerable. But within myself, I'm constantly being that. But I realize that's like the testament of growth.
Yes.
Right. Because I think that tough man persona, like it only gets you so far. You can't really go to the next level unless you're being honest with yourself.
Say that again. The tough man.
The tough man. Yeah, the tough man persona.
Facade, you mean?
Facade.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Come on now. I just want you to make sure people know that little image that you gotta think you have to put on Facebook or wherever you do or in the streets or for whomever.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's no value in it.
No. And I think for me personally, for me, it's authentic. I think my people know that, the people who I relate to. For me, I'm always being vulnerable, like just being honest myself, right? You can see like I'm sitting here sweating a little bit. I just went for a walk. Like I just keep it 100. Just for me, myself, right? I went for a walk. Those individuals know working on my health. So I'll go for a walk before I come to the show. And so it is what it is, right? And I'm at a point where the situations in my life is like, yo, I'm just going to keep it 100. Because I'm done with facade. So I like to keep it a buck with people. And that's just where I live, right? But I also try to be that example for other individuals, right? Because what I noticed too is if you come vulnerable, it creates an olive branch for other people to become vulnerable.
Totally. And it's actually the strength.
Yeah, I think so.
You have to be strong to choose to open up.
Yeah, you just gotta be a buck. Yeah, you just gotta keep it a buck. Right. And I feel like for me,
I'm not even sure if I know what keep it a buck, like 100.
Keep it a buck?
100.
Yeah, 100. Come on, you know that.
I'm just saying,
you never heard keep it a buck?
He's hipper than I am. I work from home, me and a computer a whole lot. So I don't keep it 100. I had made the interpretation, but I just felt like it was important for me to just pull you in.
I mean, a buck is 100 people know
there
that, right? Okay. All right. Yeah. Keep it a buck. Keep it out.
Nice to have the
keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important. It's important, right? Because I just think in order for people to understand that, like you have to exemplify that, right? Regularly, so people can say, oh, okay, I understand that there's some benefit to being honest.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So back to those traits.
Yeah, as far as
vulnerability,
I think that's important.
Integrity,
honesty, that's important.
Honesty.
You gotta be honest.
Integrity, yes. And being in a position where you actually are collaborative, like openly collaborative. He also gave me this story. Again, we were just hanging out. I was trying to see if it was a good fit. If working with him would be a good fit
for you.
It seemed like it would be a good fit.
Okay.
But I was just like, let's just get to know each other because I just started working with someone in community that's like local, and we had a year's worth of great stuff, and I could tell there were signs along the way that I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, I need a sign. I need a sign. And every time I needed a sign, he was like, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. But we came to a head where she asked me to do something. I was like, that is not in line with what we agreed to. I can't do it. And so it was clear that this is not a good fit moving forward. It's okay. It's okay. And so, but I think we should be able to have those kind of tough conversations. So that's the other thing you told me about, being able to have tough conversations.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I think part of having those tough conversations is being able to be honest. Like, because I noticed for me, like being here in Seattle, it's like some people are open to have those conversations,
right?
But then some people avoid those conversations.
Yes.
And so for me, I've been blessed to the point where I've met certain people and connected with certain people who are always living in that space of being honest, right? And so they hold me accountable. You know, I hold myself accountable, but then like we have those blind spots sometimes that we don't see, that I think sometimes people can say, hey, you know, your behind is out here. Let me cover, you know what I'm saying? Metaphorically speaking. I'm not saying literally, but you know, like you're in situations where you're handling something and your back is out and it's like, yo, let me make sure I show you this. You're like, oh, my bad. You know, I was.
Is it so? You know? So again, this is another reason why I was always connected to you and the work, what you're trying to do here, because I'm that kind of person too. Like I need people around me that are actually going to slow me down, shut me down, show me those things, give me full honesty. And I know a lot of people surround themselves with people who are always going to tell them what they want to hear. And I said that from the very beginning. That was one of the things I said. I was like, I will never be that one. But I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out, because I can see the people, I can see who you've surrounded yourself with. I was like, and I noticed that early on. I was like, well, everyone needs it. And she acted like she needed it. So we kept moving through the process. And I'm not saying nothing negative about this person. She's a wonderful person. She's doing great work in community. You know, it's just not a good fit if you're like, I really want to be honest. And then to be honest is, we never have the conversations that I want to have. I hope at some point we will. But to your point, when you're open and you want to have a conversation, talk to people about what they can do when they want to have an open, honest, tough conversation. And the other person is like, no, I'm not interested. They give you the silent treatment, they shut it down. You can still move through it with peace and prayer and all that. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, that's a big thing. I think it depends. Like sometimes you have to back out, you know, and just say, okay, this isn't a good fit. Like in your situation, sometimes you might have to have a different approach.
Right.
Because sometimes I've noticed that just interactions I've had with people, I like to be honest. So I realize I'm not from here, right? And so my energy or my approach can be a little uncomfortable for some people, right? And so I just like to be, I'm from Detroit originally. And so I noticed being from the Midwest and then coming to the West side, like there's two different energies. And I like to look at it in terms of dogs, right? So you have, not comparing, but just metaphorically speaking, right? So Detroit individuals are like pit bulls, right? So let me break it down. Well, hold up. You have different kind of pit bulls. One, pit bulls are very loyal, right? If you see them in their habitat, you know, they have this type of disposition where you cannot approach them disrespectfully. Right? You can't just roll up to a pit bull like, oh, Gucci, because you're gonna get bit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respect. Right. You can't be like, oh, you're gonna get bit, right? So if the pit bull is looking at you, you know, a certain way, you got to approach it appropriately. You can't just be trying to jump the fence and thinking you're just gonna you know what I'm saying?
Roll up.
Exactly. That's not gonna happen. But once you give the pit bull a salami, or you are respectful, and you know the pit bull know your best friend, most loyal, got your back, will go through wars for you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then I look at a lot of people from Seattle, and to me, they're like Chihuahuas. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I want to be sitting here while he compares people in Seattle to Chihuahua.
Let me clarify that. Let me clarify. Let me down. No. So with the Chihuahuas, you got a lot of people, right? And sometimes they may bite at people, right? But when you had that conversation, interact, you know, chill, they won't have to be on top. They don't have to do all that. So now you got the pit bull, then you got Chihuahua. They have to interact. Both of them have each other different. In order to right? The pit bull appeared aggressive than the Chihuahua, and that's not.
I know some Washington pit bulls.
Yeah. Oh, I'm eating of each side. You do have pit bulls that are actually here in Washington, and you have some Chihuahuas in Detroit too. So that's the part that I'm learning. And you have other breeds too, right?
You know, like
So,
better, no, none of that. That was from him. It was just a little breath. No negativity.
Right. No, it wasn't anything negative. It was just a metaphoric correlation. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Just and what for me, which is cool, is as I interact with different individuals here, I have to learn how to deal with their particular dog brand accordingly. Because you do have the German Shepherds, right? And you do have the Lhasa Apsos, you have the different Yorkies, like, so you got different dogs, right? Now, what's cool thing is they're all in the dog breed, so we all have an understanding, but it's like certain dogs. And then here's the thing too, with what I realized with Seattle too, you might have some Chihuahuas that are used to running the park.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so now you got this big dog, this big pit bull roll around, and all of a sudden there could be some feelings because the pit bull stature is gonna be a little bigger, and it's just being who it is, but it may knock you over by mistake, not realizing that it stepped on your toe, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's issues with that. Or sometimes you have a Doberman that come around and it's like a little bit of a challenge, right? And so it's just a matter of realizing, like, okay, nobody's trying to disrespect anybody. Everybody want to honor themselves at the park, right? But at the same time, the pit bull may be new, the Chihuahua may be new, and kind of knowing the rules of the road there. So that's kind of what I'm learning.
Engagement.
Yes, and that's what I'm learning.
Engagement.
I'm learning. Yeah, there's different type of rules here than there is in Detroit.
I love it. So when you think about men versus women, you said men's mental health, and we're talking about traits that amazing men have. I'm just curious. Like, give me one of the traits that you would say amazing men who have good mental health display.
I would say similar to what we talked about. I would say they're honest, they own their power. I would say they're authentic to who they are.
Okay, don't move so fast.
No worries.
He says I talk fast. So can you imagine me slowing someone down?
I don't think I talk fast.
No, you don't talk fast, but those are really so good. I want to just
honor first. Is that what we're talking about first?
So the first one you said was
so they have to be honorable within themselves. So by that I mean, if you are who you are, be within your power, right? Stay within your power, whatever that means for you. I think that's important. I think communication is important, but also that vulnerability too, right? And so for me, the men that I respect, you know, I can tap them on the shoulder, have a real conversation with them one-on-one, and because of who they are, we can have real conversation. And like you said earlier, they may have to say, bro, you lost focus with that. I'm like, okay.
And don't you love that? I mean, do you love that? Like that's like sorry, I'm going to go back to Theo. Theo was telling me a story about something that happened, and because he was able to have a difficult conversation, a couple of them, he literally, with a few people, I was like, that's so good. And there's some respect that comes with that.
There's mad respect. There's mad
respect
with
I'm
that.
so glad you did that. And again, you can't force someone else to have it, but when you do your part, it's like,
it's and actually for me, it helps me build more of an alliance with that person, because what happens, I know they're going to be honest. Right. But I'm the same for them. So if there's a situation that I see something, I say, yo, bro, you fell off. And for me personally, I think I got that skill set from my mom, because my mom, I grew up Detroit. If you guys know Black mothers, they're very boisterous, aggressive, you know, my mom's very smart, but there's certain times where I had to tell my mom to back off. Yeah. She would go over the top, and we had to have those real conversations. And I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna need you to back off a little bit. And then as I grew older, she'd be like, okay, I was out of pocket, right? And we would have those conversations. Then she would circle around, and she'd be like, I thought about what you said, and you was right? And so for me and the family, I've been known to say, yo, if I feel you out, then I'm gonna tell you, and I don't have a problem with telling you, right? With love, because I could be disrespectful. But I had to tell her, Mom, you got to park.
I think it's the with love part that really matters so much.
Yeah, because the delivery sometimes can put people in a place where they're not open.
And then sometimes, like in this particular situation, I was kind of heartbroken by what happened with this situation. I just had a different expectation of the person, of the situation. I just never expected it to end that way or to be that way for the person. And so I was just like, I had to take a beat. Like I had to like pause and pray. And God was like, you work for me.
Yeah.
He's like, you end well. And that's something I always say, end well. End extraordinarily well. So there is no question. I asked you to show up and handle that business. So for me, I felt like, thank you. I'm sure there'll be some follow-up conversations. They'll be connected and there's not, horribly negative energy. But it's just, it didn't end the way I wanted. And so it was like, end well.
And sometimes you have those situations
you need
too.
Some time. Yeah.
Like I've had many situations that didn't end well. But the question is, I think you hit the nail on the head, is did you get the lesson? Because sometimes people aren't in a space where they get it now. For sure. But I've had people hit me 2, 5, 6 years later, like, yo, I thought about what you said. Because sometimes I realize for myself, I'm ahead of people sometimes. So I have to be honest with myself. And then where people are on their emotional journey, they may not have gotten it. And then 4 or 5 beatings later outside of me, they're like, this is what Larry was talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Because sometimes some people may need to get burnt a few times.
You just said 4 or 5 beatings. I
want
to make sure y'all caught that.
I mean, I would say, I mean, not literally, but like sometimes you got to go through what I would call a spiritual beating. Like you got to.
Right.
And I get it. Like I even myself, like sometimes I got to go through many lessons a couple times to get the lesson.
And like I said, what I think is most beautiful is if you have a heart, this is 2026, brand new year, right? If you have a heart to want to be your best, that means people can show up and ask you questions. Yeah. They can show up and challenge you to say, you know what, that didn't feel right to me. Can we have a conversation? Yeah. And you invite that in. And if that's not who you are, who you've been, that would be probably one of the things. And I know they watch your show and you're all about
I mean
self-development, but I'm just saying if that's not who you are, and men, I'm talking about for your children. Can I comment? For your children, for your spouses, oftentimes you want to put on this, I'm the man. So, but men, if you can demonstrate to your children and to your loved ones what it looks like to self-correct or to be corrected, then that is the culture that you create within your home. And it's more powerful.
I agree. And I think
better to help you be your best than the people.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I also feel like it depends on the examples, right? So if you have a situation where people grow up and they haven't seen those examples, right? They're only watching videos or, certain artists or whatever.
Of other people.
Of other successful gentlemen or men operating out of integrity, right? Because a lot of times we grow up looking at media and that's what we want to be, Scarface or this rap star or whatever. I'm just being honest.
You say it.
Right. And so now you follow that because maybe you don't have dad around.
Right.
And so you think, oh, this is the way I should be. But then you have to have those other examples of people who have integrity, of people who stand up, of those people who communicate, you know what, you cross the line. And I know for me personally, I've had to be that person for a lot of people, right? Some men, some women, right? But that's just also, I think it depends on who you are as far as like, knowing like who you are in terms of your plight. I already know who I am. So I already know some battles I have to fight and some battles, my spirit is fighting for me. So I just have to just say, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that there's some wisdom right there.
This is what it is.
Sometimes, so from a mental health perspective, what time do you take your first break?
We still got about 4 minutes before we go to your show.
Oh my goodness! Can you believe this has been
our show's only a half hour.
So this has been that little nugget you just said. Say it again.
Yeah. As far as my battles, either sometimes I have to fight for myself, or I just let it, let the other powers take over it and say, okay, it's not for me. It's between them. So
is this a bit of, and this is a word that I use for my password for 3 years in a row. It's not my password now, but I use the word surrender.
Surrender?
Like I surrender to higher power. Like if God got me, and I know He's gonna work everything out for my good, I don't need to work on this one. This ain't for me. I'm turning you and your bad attitude over to somebody else.
For sure, surrender.
Right?
Definitely.
So if you think about that, like it's a beautiful thing to be in a position to surrender, but to let it go. Is there a song?
Yeah, let it go. I mean, there's a couple. There's one. Let it go.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right. So
we
just
might have
let
some
it.
copyright issues, so we might not consider. But you're right. Like, but it took some time to get to that point. Like, I had to bump my head a couple times and realize that, hey, I'm not really in control.
Is that a huge lesson though? Going as we close your show and go to my show, we're going to continue this conversation in another level of this conversation.
Okay.
Because I love your energy, and I'm not sure if Marcus is going to show up on mine. If he does, we'll bring him in as well. I had a lot going on. I'm not sure if I was able to bring him in, but I'm going to say for the men, this concept of letting it go from a mental health perspective is just so powerful.
Yeah, it's important.
Choosing.
It's indicative of the growth. You have to let it go. And I like to say what it does is it gives you the bandwidth in order to bring the blessings and more growth, right? If you are holding on to past hurts or traumas or whatever, you don't have the bandwidth to grow. So like, let's say you want to grow, you want to build, you want to change your world. If you're carrying on a lot of these things from the past, then how are you going to have enough in your mental bandwidth to maintain and build? You can't. You can't. Your plate is full. You can only take in so much, right? And so for me, I realized that you got to let it go and constantly like replenish the plate. You got to constantly realize, okay, I got to let this go. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then be open. But it comes from your heart, right? It comes from your heart.
It's true. And you have a good heart. So one thing we're going to do is we talk about we move to the next show. We're going to be talking about how we all show up both individually and then collectively, because you have to have a heart to serve, even just to show up here every week. We're not getting paid for this, by the way. Just saying, like, we're contributing because we care.
Yeah.
Because we want to contribute to community, because we know Rainier Avenue Radio has a mission to uplift community. And we're like, we got something to share. Yeah. Like, we're confident and, and comfortable, right, that we can show up and contribute to community. So that's another thing we want to talk about, is this idea of you and others contributing to the lives of others, showing up for yourself, letting some stuff go, being your best in 2026, and then contributing to the greater good.
Okay, guys. So we're going to wrap it up here. So I just want to say I want to thank Dr. Tracy Harrell for being here, and also to want to invite you guys to check us out. She'll be on next. Dr. Tracy Harrell will be on Living Powerfully and Better Together and Living Powerfully be on right after from 6 to 7. Want to thank her for being here. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next month, or actually next week. All right, guys. Peace.